Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm going to give you a few cars that will beat Tempest 3 Tier 5 with one setting, one tune for the entire event. This is going to be done at the minimum requirement of performance point of 685, which is what you start the event with. These cars are so fast and so good that they will simply beat the entire event with 685 setting. Not all cars can do it, although if you were to really talk about stage 5 only cars that'll beat it, it'll expand by quite a few cars. But let's stick with the ones that are super good, and there are about 5 or 6 of these cars we're going to go over. Number 1, Aston Martin Valhalla Concept. I keep saying how great this car is. It proves itself yet again with the stage 5, no stage 6, I shouldn't say stage 5, it's not even stage 5 tune, no stage 6 tune and setting that'll beat every single challenge in Tempest 3 Tier 5. So basically, once you set this car up with these parts and fusions, go and set up the tune, you will not have to go back to retune or change anything. You will simply beat the event and get Harkness's car. It's really that simple. Pretty amazing if you think about it, that a gold star car like this is capable of doing that. So a minimum nitrous, 2.18 final drive, 0-100 gives you a dyno of 2.154 0-100, 8.804 time, 391 miles per hour, all of which beats everything, or I should say the toughest challenge within each bracket of Tempest 3 Tier 5. In fact, what I'm going to do is I will list each one here by upgrade level, and you can see that it starts at 685, goes all the way to 717, but in fact none of the challenges are going to be unbeatable by this car at this level. So it basically beats everything outright at stage 5, less than stage 5 only. No stage 6s, one tune, one setting, beat the entire event. A second car that is just as beastly as the Aston Martin Valhalla and is known for performing very well without huge level of upgrades, that is the Bugatti Chiron, I guess Dicey, but I'm not even going to try to butcher the name. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the upgrade. This car, we all know, is also kind of a low upgrade, high evo kind of beast, and it's definitely proving once again its capabilities here. 5 5 5 5 3 4 4. Okay, that is 685 performance points, and if you go to the dyno, you will see that it is more than capable on one tune to get through everything. Again, Tempest 3 Tier 5 isn't the most challenging, but it's nice to know you can get cars that'll beat it without even needing to have to put any stage 6 in, for that matter, even get past 685 performance points. Now, this 8.919 is cutting a little bit closer because this car is a little hard to drive. So you definitely want to practice running it. But let's be honest, you can put this car to full stage 5 and that'll be more around an 8.6, and you will simply beat Harkness very easily. So if needed, you can always bump the upgrade up, but it's one of those cars that can do it without any stage 6 and without changing anything really once you start the event. So okay, that's 2. Let's go on and take a look at the next one. Unfortunately, once we get past the Valhalla and the Cento, we're starting to look at some of the more obscure cars. But if you have the Flipcar, and if you have fusions for the Flipcar, which, well, I have some, I'm not sure my car's fully maxed or anything, but stage 5 trans, stage 5 engine missing some parts, stage 4 turbo, stage 4 intake, stage 5 nitrous, stage 5 body. For the most part, this car is fully maxed, and stage 3 tire and stage 5 trans. Okay, very easy to set up. Again, I'm missing some turbo epics, but generally speaking, I have parts otherwise. So in this particular format, at this setting, the Flipcar is ready to take on Harkness without much of an issue. It is actually faster 0 to 100, high top speed, and has 8.917 time. Again, with the ones that are running closer to 9.0, 8.9, you don't want to botch the run. You're probably going to want to bump it up as you're permitted to do so further down to the event, or wait till, just run through everything, wait till the final race against the boss, and just bump it up to whatever points stage 5 or stage 6 will give you within the limit of what you have parts-wise, and you should have no problem. Of course, not too many of you would have the Flipcar in the first place. It wasn't made available at least twice and may come around again, knowing how Natural Motion likes to recycle the Fast and Furious event. So keep in mind that this is one of those cars that is good enough to do the job as far as beating Harkness without really changing much. And the next one up, Venom F5 Concept. Another car that is really not available now. It was actually given free to some players as a welcome back gift. Others of us had to pull it. Regardless, the point is this car is an absolute monster when it comes to low performance point high evo. It is almost as good as the F1 when it comes to some of the things you can do with it, but it falls a little short because it doesn't have your elite upgrades. If they ever give this car your elite upgrades, it would be absolutely insane. Now, that being said, this car with certain part upgrades, no stage 6 leveraged here, all stage 5, okay, or less, and that puts us at 684 performance points, but 2430 evo, and that allows you to hit a very quick time, very quick mile per hour on the tune. So let's take a look at that. This is another one of those cars that make it so easy to beat Harkness, it's almost silly. Okay, 1.681, 0 to 100, 8.4 runs at 355 miles per hour. It'll do the target mile per hour for the speed traps in the quarter, more faster in the quarter than what it needs in the half. So this car, very, very good. Also easily tunable for live racing, also very good in that because of the current live lobby matchmaking. So another beast of a car right here, the Venom F5 Concept. Next up, the Koenigsegg Jesco Absolute and the regular Koenigsegg Jesco, both monster cars with low performance point high evo, capable of 684 and 685 point settings that will beat Harkness all the way through without changing tune, changing parts. You can certainly upgrade parts to change the leverage. Now, the thing about this car is I'm actually utilizing a little different setting here. Let me just put it to a point where it's 685 without leveraging the stage 6s, but you know, it won't change anything. This car will simply destroy the requirements without much of a problem. And we can probably bump it up to that. Nope, not quite. Okay, we'll go ahead and just leverage some intake. Whoops, we need to take one of these off. Okay, very high evo points, and now this is not leveraging any stage 6s. Again, I thought I had set it up properly, but apparently it did not get set up exactly right. But regardless, tune it. You can play with the tune a little bit to see if there are any extra margin there. I don't really think so. I think this will be the best way to have it. And 8.6, 1.6, 350, basically the same as the Venom F5, but a little bit slower. Venom F5 is a little better at this than the Jesco Absolute, but again, very easy to set up, a killer setup that will easily beat Harkness. Here's the thing. While I'm going through all these cars, I do have to point out that the only one of these cars that are currently available to you is the Valhalla Concept. And the Valhalla Concept Purple Star that can be bought for actual money will do the same thing, and in fact do it a little better. Outside of that, really, most of these cars are not current options for most players. So I do understand that while this is fun to do in theory, you're not likely to be able to get these cars to use at the moment. Plus, if you beat the Koenigsegg supercar science to get the absolute, you probably have another car that's good enough to be Harkness anyway. But I just like I like seeing the capability to do this out of these cars, so I wanted to make a video to kind of give you guys some of the craziest Harkness killers in the game. Okay, so the regular Jesco, just as good if not better than the absolute, depending on specific upgrades and tuning. Another monster of a car that will absolutely destroy the event without any problem. So that is another option. Again, I tweaked the tune a little bit. You know, you can just stick with whatever, but it just won't go wrong at this point. It'll simply destroy Harkness. So Harkness is really nothing to worry about. But if you're relatively new, unfortunately, unless you have gold keys to pull that Valhalla, these other cars are really not that much of an option to you. However, we know that sooner or later, Natural Motion will recycle opportunities for these cars. So even if you're watching this video in the future and you're newer to the game, just know that these are cars that can simply destroy Harkness. Now, what about the others? There are some cars that I think may be possible to do it. I just don't have them upgraded, or I don't have access to them, so I'm not going to worry about those. But these, the ones I just went through, are the top choices. Now, there's some close ones that almost gets there. For example, the Imola definitely possibly can do it. Another car I'm not even going to go into is this one right here, the F1. That'll definitely be able to do it. But if you grind enough to get the F1 and you still haven't finished Tempest 3 Tier 5, that probably just means you weren't even trying to finish Tempest 3 Tier 5. So it's not, you know, it's not that you can't or you don't have a car capable. You just didn't care enough to bother. So outside of those cars, though, the rest of these, one of the close ones is the Imola. Another one that almost does the job would be the Supra, the Toyota Supra that we have that's fully elite. That comes very close at 685 to beat everything, and certainly can beat everything if it's fully elite at stage 5 or so. In fact, let's take a look at this car. But understand, fully elite, the car's performance is way, way better than one that has barely any elite. So do not assume that your level 10 elite car is going to do the same thing. But certainly at this level of performance, and even if you don't fully leverage stage 6s, your capability here is going to be pretty high, and the car can do quite a bit of damage, you know, in performance-wise. Now, I'm not specifically going for a tune that'll definitely meet all requirements. Let me see. I'm just kind of winging it here. Probably rather have a little more turbo, a little bit less intake. Wow, doesn't want to give me the 5. Okay, so we'll just take a look at it. Again, anything over 2,000 Evo points, you're looking pretty good here. This is the final car I'm going to review, but certainly all I'm pointing out is that this car is definitely very close when it comes to doing it. And you know this car beats dyno. So at this setting, 684, 2164, and I haven't really tweaked it. I believe there's quite a bit more in this car possible. In fact, I did eke out some more points there. 8.985, 2.250, it'll beat that, and 351 mile per hour. So this is another car that simply will do the job at 685. But this is Elite 35, I'm sorry, Elite 35 with all fusion slots. Those fusion slots makes a huge difference. So don't assume, again, you're going to do this with a car that is barely elite. Okay? So I'm basically running it through the standard way you would drive the Supra, except, you know, we're going to just kind of see what it'll run. Now, 0 to 100 is the only thing you worry about in Tempest 3 Tier 5, no 0 to 60. And here's, again, 2.0, 8.85, 1.2. So, yeah, this car will beat at 684 setting, Elite 30. I keep saying 30. Elite 35 fully elite. Let's just use fully elite. It will beat Harkness without having to even get into any stage 6s, and at the minimum performance point required cutoff. Okay, so that is some of the monster cars in CSR2. Now, here's another pretty beastly car, but unfortunately, I didn't play with it, and I don't think it'll easily do 685 and beat Harkness, but it's probably capable too, and that is the Tuatara. Well, we won't get into that car. Let's just rest our laurels here on the Supra as the final one that I'm going to showcase. So just to quickly recap, Aston Martin, Valhalla, the Bugatti Cento, the Hennessy Venom F5, the Koenigsegg Jescos, and also the Toyota GR Supra are all cars that are capable of utilizing only 684 or 85 performance point or less and beat Tempest 3 Tier 5. I hope you enjoyed this video, and also do mark these cars in as some good choices for live racing as well. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you want to comment or ask questions, feel free to do so. And please subscribe to my channel. One is you're supporting me and letting me know that my channel is doing a good job and that you like it. And two, if I put up videos like this, you'll get notifications if you hit the bell. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.